Wonder Woman marks the third installment of the DC Cinematic Universe, with Wonder Woman being the in-between film of Batman vs Superman, where she got first introduced, and the Justice League slated to be released in late 2017. This is the first Wonder Woman installment I know of since the 70s, with Linda Carter as Diana. With the filmscape being dominated by awesome male heroes, this has been a long time coming for audiences everywhere. With the female lead portrayed by an audience favourite, Gal Gadot, and the film directed by Patty Jenkins, we were all keen to see what was in store for a modern Wonder Woman movie. Thankfully, I have good news. Diana, who was brought up with a tribe of Amazonian women, is tasked with returning an undercover spy to England to unveil Germany's secret plans to produce a deadly poison to win World War I. While there, Diana wants to straight up murder Ares, who she suspects has taken the form of a German leader, Ludendorff. It becomes clear that Diana is quite naive in the way of politics and war, and a lot of other stuff. It's nothing revolutionary, but the story is delivered so well and coherently, which is high praise in this day and age of superhero movies. Superhero movies are all starting to look the same, so I was relieved to watch a superhero movie this time where the main character becomes and feels like an idealistic superhero, and this can be credited to a solid premise in the story and the story's writing. I'll be talking about Diana and Steve mainly. They are both excellently written characters with clear and understandable motives. There is hardly any inconsistency in their actions throughout the entire film. This should be a given, but thankfully to almost a decade of badly scripted motives, I've become numb to it. Diana's family and loved ones' lives are at stake. She is driven by a clear desire to save her home and prove herself as a hero. Steve is on a quest to help stop the death of millions of people. Everything he does in the film is in service of that. He doesn't care about being a hero in the same way Diana does. He has the realistic perspective that any rational human being would have. It's in stark contrast to Diana's idealistic views, so the push and pull between them is explored properly and given real weight, while their hearts and minds change as they experience this quest together. The supporting cast, including Diana's mother and mentor and Steve's secretary, all do an excellent job of enriching the world these characters and story inhabit. The villains did nothing for me. Ludendorff is fairly underwhelming and evil just for the sake of being a foil to our protagonists. There's a weird role that Ares plays in the film that doesn't resonate well at all. Not for me anyway. The story goes that Ares put evil thoughts into the hearts and minds of men, and that's why humanity went to shit. Initially, I just assumed the story was a legend to teach people how to be moral and adhere to their way of life. It starts to get a bit weird when Diana's mission is literally world peace. I understand that Diana is naive, but what? It's jarring to realise she was taught so little by her family. That's a small issue in an otherwise awesome movie. The well-realised story combined with the great character writing and performance informs some great action set pieces that feel important and epic. Diana isn't heroic when it's time to fight baddies. She is heroic throughout. She speaks with the ideals of a hero and her actions are motivated for clear reasons. The action sequences aren't perfect by any means, but the action is emotionally charged and important, so the few gripes I have is overshadowed by solid characterization through the action. The few complaints I do have are with the Paradise fight in the beginning. The shots were often too close and quickly cut. After the characters arrive in England, the action is shot much more fluidly and cleanly. This is surprising because I thought this location would be ideal for action shooting, and the close quarters later in the film would be a logistical nightmare. The opposite is true if what is on screen is anything to go by. I'm so tired of villains trying to take over the world, or cleanse the world, or restart the world. World domination is such a tired cliche, and ironically, whenever a villain's great plan is universal destruction, it diminishes the stakes of the movie to such a high degree that I almost always zone out. We know the heroes aren't going to die, no matter what the visuals try to tell us. This film has an interesting approach to stake raising. While we know the villain is trying to win a war, we also know that to Diana, her family's future is at stake. Destroying Ares is going to bring her vindication and catharsis. Steve understands that her achieving her mission will help him achieve his. He knows this, so he has to help steer Diana in the right direction when they are not fighting. We can see the wheels turning in Steve's mind when he has to make a decision about what to tell Diana. Not to mention, he plans everything out to minimize casualties, while making difficult decisions about their mission. His role is actually important to the story and to the action, and that makes their relationship important. We know that Diana isn't in danger. She can take care of herself, and the movie knows she can take care of herself. So instead, the stakes are with the people she loves and cares about. Their lives are in mortal danger, and the death in this film feels permanent. She is a hero from the beginning. She doesn't just want to complete her mission. She wants to try and help everyone, not because she is a goody two-shoes, but because she is idealistic. Besides the great story, characters, visuals, and action, this film impressively fulfills the premise of a naive Amazon with a kill mission visiting England during World War I, and that alone is worth the price of admission.